Hello and welcome to the Kindred Essence Tarot and to my latest reading. So I've lately been doing, the last couple of days, I've been doing readings that are just without cards. They're just with a blank screen, right? You can see it's just a blank screen, right? But here I am. It's nothing wrong with the camera. It's just so it's like intuition and channeling. So this latest reading, I was drawn to do it. I'm not quite sure even what's going to come up, but it's called "Are You on the Ascension Timeline?" So I think I'm just going to see whatever comes up, and there's a pile 1 and a pile 2. I believe there may be even more piles, but I'm pretty sure there's just going to be a pile 1 and a pile 2. So I'm just going to just see what comes up. And I'm just going to see what comes up. So time for pile number 1. So what I've heard is that you're going on a straight line and you are almost paranoid to make any mistake. You are almost paranoid to go in the wrong direction. And in a way, this is good. This is a very positive thing because it helps you stay on track. But I'm hearing that sometimes you can become a little bit fearful of anything, shall we say, different, anything that is it's like you're so concerned with being on the right path and being on the right trajectory that you can sort of and I'm hearing that this is a good thing. This is generally actually a good thing. So they're not chagrining you for that, but it's basically you may want to go on a detour is positive, but then I'm hearing that you've had very negative detours. So it's sort of like you don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen. So it's like you basically, you don't want that to happen, but it's sort of like if something feels, it's very much, I'm hearing this is very much to do with self-trust. Like and I think I'm going to do a reading next on that, on self-to-trust, how to develop how to trust again, to trust yourself and others again. But right now we'll focus on this reading. So it's sort of like you want to be on the right track and the right trajectory, but I'm hearing the words all roads lead to Rome. So it's like I'm hearing there's bad side trajectories, but there's good side trajectories. And a good side trajectory would be something that you feel in your heart that is good for you. So the whole point of your ascension timeline, and it's a lot of people's ascension timelines, is to develop self-trust and to go back to yourself. And whatever way you develop self-trust and you get back to yourself, that is the positive timeline. That is the positive timeline. And I'm hearing that once you feel that way, that you trust yourself, and she will do a reading next on that, but once you feel that you trust yourself, you will actually, things will be a lot easier. But she's going to be doing a reading next about that, about self-trust. But it's about, I suggest that next reading about how to trust yourself, how to trust other people. That will be next. I highly recommend that, even though I haven't done that yet, or she hasn't done that yet. But that will be, but it's about, it's like you're almost so afraid of making a mistake and going in the wrong direction. It's like everything, for example, if a job is an example, it might be it's like you've been torn off path by seemingly bad decisions and bad people and bad trajectories. And it's sort of like you're almost afraid. And the example that comes to mind is like there's going to be a fear about the wrong job, taking the wrong decision. But it's about developing self trust for yourself and going in the right. And there's no really wrong, as long as something is activating your soul. Number one is should be activating your soul, and it should be a pleasant experience. It should be activating your soul. And I'm hearing you've had a lot of very deeply unpleasant experiences. But to get away from that, the self-trust reading she's going to be doing, which will be similar to this reading, but number one is as long as you're having a pleasant experience, and I'm hearing you've had some deeply unpleasant, so asking yourself, am I having a good time, and am I trusting myself? Am I having a good time, and am I trusting myself? Am I trusting yourself, or are you trusting yourself? So it's like that is the most important energies for this. So when you are having a good time and you are trusting yourself, then you will be on the ascension timeline. So it's sort of like this balance of looking like inward and looking outward. And it's sort of like, because sometimes it's almost like I'm feeling that there's been like some very imbalanced energy, like you've been too outward, too inward, and it's just like you're trying to put the puzzle pieces together, put everything together. But when you're having a good time and you're trusting yourself, you have a feeling of rightness, of knowing that you are on the right track. And I'm hearing for the ascension timeline, you are getting on the right track. You definitely are righting the wrongs of the past by, I see an image of a stream, sort of going back to the right trajectory. You're going back to the right trajectory. But it's sort of like your feelings are your ultimate guide, but she will get into the trust reading. It will be after this in the queue, like the next day or next hour or whenever. It will be the next queue. But I think that reading will help with but having a good time. But it's like there's a lot of fear with you, and acknowledge the fear, and it's sort of like it's like this ball of fear, and it's hard for you to have your feelings be your guide when you have, it's almost like your self-trust has been so damaged. But the essential thing is, like, you will be on the self-trust, and when you feel that you're having a good time and you're trusting yourself, you will be on the right timeline. But that's all we have for this reading. But yeah, watch the self-trust reading, which she hasn't done yet, but she will do, and that will be of assistance to you. You'll know which pile. I think there'll be one or two piles, so you'll know which one to pick for that one. And I think it might be the second one, but a little bit of the first one as well too. But she hasn't done that yet. But yeah, that was pile number 1, and let's go to pile number 2. So 822. Are you on the ascension timeline? And I'm hearing, no, you weren't before, but now you are recently, because a lot of things have changed. But there's nothing really, like with humanity, there's descension timelines and ascension timelines and different trajectories of humanity and people with their individual timelines. But but now you weren't before, but now you are. So some recent changes that have made you be on the ascension timeline is you've valued yourself above people's opinions and people's opinions for yourself. That's what has got you on the ascension timeline. And also, and it may sound like a cliche, but knowing what is really important, and feeling the energetic core of that. It's very much about getting back to this energetic core where you know that the most important thing is to light up your energetic core with positive experiences. And it's like, and I'm feeling that you felt like you've had one or two positive, very positive experience with a different kind of person you've drawn into your life. And if this hasn't happened, it will happen. But it's sort of like a different kind of energies and situations, and you're feeling the energies of that. If this, and I'm hearing for some it has already happened, but for some it's very, very close, like very, very like the next 10 days. I'm hearing for some a tiny bit longer, but not much. Tiny bit longer, but not much. But it's sort of like I'm hearing that once these sort of aspects come together, everything will snowball into a very positive. You'll be in a much more positive reality, because this realm can be called sort of a game realm, where it's like you're going away into negative into positive and negative into positive, and you've had a lot of negative energy, and it's basically snowballed to the point where like the energy of these experiences got so much, but then it kind of pushed you into a higher trajectory, but it got quite bad. There may have been thought about some very dark thoughts. I'm not going to say what those could be, but you can kind of ascertain what that would be, but having some very dark thoughts. But it's just sort of like like going on to the positive the time energetically, as you realize it's sort of like you got on the positive time when you saw the energetic patterns behind this sort of reality or this matrix. You started to sense them, you started to feel them, you started to understand them, and then when you did, you started to claim your power, but and felt the more positive energy coming to your reality. And if you haven't yet, you will experience more positive, and it's positive people, positive energies, maybe even places, but it's just an up-levelment. So yeah, it's like, but do not feel or feel bad for the times that you've been so-called off track, because it is something that happens to everybody in this reality, going into the negative, positive, negative, and you may have felt that you've spent too much time in the negative, but rest assured, those negative experiences helped you move to the positive, and now they're gradually being fermented or germinated to help you to create the bedrock of a positive experience, of having a positive experience in your reality. So yes, you are now recently on the positive ascending timeline and I may add to you, a lot of other people are getting on the positive ascending timeline, and you put out that it's very important for you to find people that resonate with that kind of energy. And yes, it's very important, and a lot of people are going on the positive ascending timeline, and you will be finding people that are resonant with that positive ascending. That's very important to you, and that's part of forming your new reality. The new energies, transcending the old, bringing it to the new, and going into a new positive timeline. Feeling the energy of that, visualizing it, and allowing it. It's not making, it's allowing it to happen. Not allowing. No, directing it to happen. Not making it happen. Not making, not allowing. Not making and not allowing, but directing it. Not making, not allowing, but directing. So I'm hearing, I direct my reality with my newfound energetic, emotional, and spiritual, psychological framework of true positivity. Not fake positivity, but true positivity. All right, that feels, so I'm hearing also just I'm hearing visualization is very important too. Visualizing, but really feeling the energetic potential of that. I'm hearing that this pile can be a little bit imaginative and fanciful, and people look at that as a negative thing, but you need to have that, looking at that sense of being emotional, fanciful energy, and using it to direct you to the highest possible probability. And I think what I said previously will help combine with that emotional, that, like, in visualizing everything, like, I'm here, look at visualization from a new aspect, from a new vantage point, and you will create everything you want in your reality now. Thank you.